a little bit later. My inks a little bit of nope. Go over more. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see the tractor. Well, those lights are already on. Hope you all had a good Mother's Day. Did something for your moms. We celebrated with Mom Bibster last night, and then we celebrated with Mrs. Bibster today. And Glenn, in normal Glenn fashion, puked on us. Pooped on her, I think. Maybe he didn't poop on her, but he had a blowout. He had all the things. So, yeah, first Mother's Day was a little bit rough, but it is what it is. But we also didn't do as much stuff this weekend because, again, Mother Nature is not fun at all. And we ended up, move that a little bit like that, there you go. We ended up not getting to go to the plow day on Saturday that we had planned at Flegel's place. Now he has rescheduled that to next Sunday. Bearer of bad news, I will not be there. Two reasons why. A, I have to play Sunday morning at church, and I play on the worship team, and so I can't miss that because I'm already committed to playing. A, B, I will have just come off of 2 days of tractor pulling, which is one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. The Community Antique Tractor Pullers Association, CAPTA, letters XYZ WMP. They are doing their opening day is Saturday and Friday and Saturday. Friday night, a big what they call a bracket pull, which I'm announcing. And to be fair, I didn't understand how it worked until I finally realized it's exactly how you would think it would work. At least what it sounds like. So I'll get corrected, but it looks like my buddy Matt Butler's going to be up there. What's it even? Evan, sorry, I can't talk. And he's going to be, I think it's the Wisconsin Tractor Pullers Associate. I forgot his YouTube channel name. He might pop in, but he's going to be there filming. So I might not film. Obviously, announcing that's my first thing. So I'll try and film some, but I'm not going to be able to film every single pull and have the distances and all that stuff at this particular place because I'll be announcing it. But I'll do a vlog of Friday and Saturday night. I can't talk. Compilated, something like that. Words. Anyway, of both days, of both events because I'm excited. It should be a fun time. Hopefully, like I said, it's looking like it's going to be pretty big numbers, especially. So Friday night is the bracket pull. In a way, I understand it, and like I said, I could be off, but it sounds like what they do is there's up to 64 tractors that can be in the bracket. And then set the bracket, and basically you get paired against somebody else, and you just go down the line. And so distance, move on to the next round. Next two guys come up, one pulls. I don't know how by distance they pulled the last time. Like if you pulled farther, you get a better. You can choose to go first or second. I don't know if there's a difference if they flip a coin. I'll find that out. But yes, fun. And then they pay out the top four. Tom, they pay out the top four, and then obviously go down. There's only one tractor, so that's 550. I think is the actual 5,500 basically. Farm and Farm Plus will be in one class, and then Farm or then their Antique will be in the other class. So what's up, Rick? How's it going? Not too much going on here tonight. I mowed hay today, which just means I mowed my yard for the first time. That's why my mower is still sitting out. I always like to let it cool off before I wheel it inside, and if it decides to do anything dumb, it can. The pulling tractor's there. It hasn't gone anywhere. But yeah, so I think that's how that works. It's gonna be kind of fun. What's up, Lee? We're gonna have a lot of. There'll be a ton of. You'll see. You'll have an opportunity to pull 64, 32, 16, 8, 5 times. If you win, if you make it to the last round 5 or 6 times, so that'll be kind of neat. And then, like I said, Saturday is all their regular classes. So that is going to be. They start that pull at 9 in the morning. Is what they're saying. So in the polling world, that means 10, usually. But that is going to be a madhouse because 6 classes throughout the day are going to pay $500 to win, which if you guys all follow antique tractor pulling at all will know that getting $500 to win a class is insane. So hopefully that should be a wild day. And there's plus all their other classes. So your 3750 to 7,000 farm and farm plus, and then I think 3750 to 6 or 65. I think 65, and they're antique. They're also running some like 4 and 6 mile an hour. And good job. Thanks, Tom, for the thumbs up. 5 and 3 up. Way to go. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the share if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Friends that know about the channel, let them know what's going on. We do all sorts of stuff. Not as much actual wrenching in the last like 3 months, it feels like, around here. But we were supposed to have shows that we were supposed to have the last 2 weekends, but Mother Nature hasn't done that. So that is Saturday. It'll be a mad packed day full of pulls. So I am sure we're going to get back at, it's 2.5 hours from home. So I'm sure it is going to be a late one coming home. And then, yeah, that's true. You did make it before. Made it early, Bryce. Way to go. It'll be early. It'll be late for the show. Because the thing, too, is, like we talked about, that on Sunday I can't go to the plow days because I got to be back to play. We're also, the same group, our youth group, we help out with our after prom. So we're going to probably go and help with that. So, yeah, Sunday Night Live next year with like 2 hours of sleep over the course of 3 days and being outside all day and announcing, that could be a wild one. I might just fall asleep. I just halfway through it, just lean over, just fall right out. But yeah, so I'm excited. It's gonna be, like I said, a fun week. I'm taking Friday off, so I'm gonna head out at like noon or something. I think is when I'm gonna try and head up there and get all my tent stuff packed. Cause yippee, we're tent camping. That should be exciting. But yeah, so what you guys all do? Any fun thing for Mother's Day? We'll also get into, BIBSTER finally got back to the racetrack Friday night with D-Wreck Wilson, which we did not wreck. One of the cleanest cars we ever put back on a trailer that finished the feature. Like, it wasn't like something broke and we had to, that's why we didn't have any damage. So we'll tell that story. So I put a video out, excuse me, Saturday morning. If you haven't checked it out, it's the last video on the channel. It's BIBSTER Goes to the Racetrack, and this is a new series we're going to be working on this summer to turn that into. Mostly just because yes, day late. I'm not a day late. I'm right on time. I'm realizing I've gotten sidetracked, which if you guys know me, that is pretty common. Anyway, track. So, ooh, we'll be in your backyard till morning. Ooh, nice. Since what ended up happening was we went to, and so what I did, it was actually my buddy Ginger who was here earlier tonight. If he'd stayed, I was gonna try and see if he'd jump in. At the time, I still technically have a podcast. I just haven't put an episode out in forever. I said, hey, you want to you want to have your 2 days later or like enter it for. So I thought this is awesome. We went in and went to the pit shack. They gave us pit passes. We were wandering around thinking like, this is awesome. And he goes, you want to hang out in the infield? We're like, yeah, that'd be awesome. We hang out at the infield really well. Well, I was just not trying anything to try and get into the motorsport world and do it. And the easiest way to do it was just go to things. So he's like, oh yeah, car. Didn't really know him that well. Just kind of like, that was it. Is that better? I'm officially outside. The phone's almost outside. The router's like right there, but it acts goofy. So my apologies for any buffering issues we just had. Hopefully got the phone closer to the door. Anyway, Bryce, sidetrack on the story from Friday. Yeah, it's on me. Back in the my internet went poopy, so it should be back now. Hopefully, we'll find out. If not, we'll restart if I have any more issues. But I think we're good now. But yeah, you were saying names there. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, you're going back. Okay. Yeah, because I have a long-term not long-term, but we'll talk about that later. Race car, or they got a newer car to them. Oh, not again. Hold on. Of course, I remember too. You guys are like a few seconds behind me, so hold on. Hopefully that's better. Let me know when you see me do the jazz hands if it's still buffering. But yeah. So needless to say, we finally got. They got a different car, and we got last year. We got her on the track a few times, but just was a little. Just couldn't quite get the car dialed in right. All right, perfect. I was hoping to be back once I got jazz hands. And so, but Friday night we go out to CJ Columbus Junction, which is a track about 2 hours from here. Like I've said before, you can on any day on the weekend you spit in the. If you get up to a water tower, you can see a racetrack anywhere in the state of Iowa. The guys that run Speed Sport actually came up with that line, and I think that was always pretty funny to me. Thank you, Bryce. See, that's good now. But it's a little bit farther away, but everyone else had canceled because of the rain. All the bad weather, but CJ, they missed the rain. Larry Richardson is the promoter there and does a really good job with the track. And, I mean, the track did develop some character by the end of the night, we'll call it. But other than that, it was a pretty good track for what the cars was dealt with. Luckily, I mean, you always want to see more cars. You don't want to see a low car count. But the car count wasn't crazy. There's probably only maybe 4 or 5 in a few of the classes that were not normally there, which is good because the last thing you want is opening night of a track. The promoter is the only track that's open in 4 hours, and all these guys come out of the woodwork to go race there, and then the track that normally, you know, the guy he's used to building a track for what your normal car count, normal number of races is, you know, if you're used to having to run a B main for sport mods, maybe you're kind of building that in, but all of a sudden if all these guys show up and you got to run a B main for every single class, you know, that's a whole lot more laps on the track. That is, by the end of the night, the track is only going to hold so many laps before it either rubbers off, gets you know, completely tore up, does a lot of things, and that's why at the end of a racetrack you got to completely rebuild the surface, or, you know, tear it up and start over. So that's, you know, that's kind of what when you see some of these racetracks that do a lot of classes, you know, you got to look at a racetrack, you know, and a good promoter can build it for as many laps as they need, but a racetrack's only going to be good for so many laps, and then it's going to be bad. And you see a lot of times when racetracks do practices, you know, it's already kind of, if they don't do much prep work before the practice, the track's already kind of garbage, or not garbage, but it's already like, you know, feature ready when it starts, and then it just gets worse as practice goes, probably at that point it'll be taking a lot of rubber. But that's all to say, we went out there in the heat race, got caught up in a little incident on lap 1, had to kind of hit the binders, get stopped. He put the low on it and was able to not hit the car in front of him. He was able to then just put some laps in, which actually was good because it got him away from the rest of the field, and he could just put laps in lap after lap after lap and not have to worry about anything else that was going on. Feature time started kind of near the back of the pack because of obviously finished the back of the pack for the heat, and drove a pretty good race. There was a pretty bad wreck on that first lap that he avoided, and then really was able to kind of hang with the guys that were kind of around him for some of the green flag stretches. If the green flags were getting a little more stretched out, was kind of dropping off, but at the same time, we were even talking in the pits afterwards, he was pulling back a lot too, knowing, you know, there was a couple times where he knew he was really close to a guy's bumper, and he thought, you know what, first night out, I don't need to push the subject here, you know, I just want to get the car back on the trailer. So that's what we did. We got the car back on the trailer. Exciting, really. It was one of the better nights we've had in probably 2 or 3 years of racing, where, you know, we used to come off the track and it would be, this was wrong, we still couldn't get this figured out. We've been fighting this since hot laps, and we barely got the car turned around. All right, let's try and go to Maquoketa tomorrow. This would be a Friday if we were in Davenport. Let's try and go to Maquoketa tomorrow and try and figure it out. We go to Maquoketa. We wouldn't go to Maquoketa because we'd have other stuff going on. And so it just became a super big, kind of not fun time. And so a night like Friday night, there could be 2 or 3 bad nights in a row, and that will still kind of be a beacon out there, it was really nice to have that be our first night. Still looking for 2022 being our year for our first feature win. That's what our goal is. I've told Derek, because a lot of times when you win a feature, not as much. Most tracks don't do it when it's real busy, but a lot of times your crew will run across the track and you'll get pictures. A lot of times they try and hold off on that till the very end of the night. But I've always told them, you got to make Fatty run. Like get a feature win. Make me run across that racetrack. And get there for the victory lane picture. But so all that to say, it was a good night. We're hoping to have a lot more good nights with the number 9 Varium Racing Bibster Promotions. I'm on the side of that car, so. But yeah, I'm trying to think. So that's pretty much the weekend wrap up. Actually, one of the side panels to his car is right there. That's from 2017. I think that was the 2017 wrap. But yeah, so anyway, all that to say, so that was pretty much my weekend. Coming up this next week, like I said, we got that tractor pull on the weekend, so I'll probably get to spending more time, not too much time in the garage this week, just because I'll be gone Friday, Saturday. So get some time with the baby, because got to do that while I can. He's been feel a little bit better, but excuse me. Last Sunday we thought he might be getting sick. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, but Bryce, you oh sorry, something's in my eye. It's the allergy season. You don't haul flatbed like near Spokane, do you? Like ever? Because if anyone's ever have a open flatbed trailer at Spokane, that's going to be coming near me, let me know. No, gonna happen. But if it did, it'd be really neat. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much been the wildness of the Bibster weekend and all that. On Facebook, you got to talk to them a little bit and just kind of catch up, because we had done some work before with them when I was filming stuff, so it was nice to see them. And it was weird because the last time, because I can't remember been down there when Derek's raced it, but I can't remember if I've been down there when he's raced it. I think I've only been down there to film, or sometimes it's already closed by the time you get there. But we heard that racing had ended, the features were done. We then filled the car up and slice of Casey's Pizza. I've gone to some places after, and it's like, nice when you come to businesses that are not the racetrack, and I think that's a good connection to have. And the world, definitely check it out. They race Friday night, 7:00 racing. They run 5 modified sport mods, street stocks, hobby stocks, and 4 cylinders. So I gotta re-add them. The problem is when I started my new Facebook, I used to have all the dirt. I used to have all the racetracks pages followed, so I could just easily see who raced and didn't race. And I don't have 34 probably with who said let's just have our opening night before Saturday. So it looks to me like I think some of the guys that weren't there probably would have been at 34. So whoa. Let's see. No. Okay, let's see. All right, so for some reason I wasn't getting much of the I wasn't getting much of the comments. They must have not been coming in as much, so I must have maybe some buffering issues there, because I had a bunch of flea glice here in the house. I broke the news already, but if you go back and watch the whole thing, so I will not be able to be at your plow day now, just because of being gone Friday and Saturday at the pull. A, not going to work out, and B, I already got commitments for Sunday morning playing on the drum set. So kind of bummed out about that. What is it really wondering? Huh, that is interesting. I'll have to read that because I didn't get that whole what's going on there. Let's see. That is weird. I thought I commented. I'm pretty sure I commented on your last video, Flegel, about the test and tune. I did the classy. The video's out for 34 seconds. Got the notification and just threw a comment in, just to be the first. But yeah, I'm not sure because yeah, you just passed over that big old 1K. Congrats again on that. But yeah, it looked like it was a good test and tune. So that was getting back to what else happened this weekend was community had their test and tune day. I was thinking about going to it, but then. So a couple of years ago, when I first started doing BIBSTER'S stuff, I used to notoriously be able to, I could go to races 3 nights a weekend, get barely any sleep, live on coffee and Monster and Casey's Pizza for a weekend and be just fine. Well, mostly fine. So I go to CJ, and I used to go to CJ when I was working at Mutual Wheel. I go to CJ every Friday night when they were racing. And for 3 or 4 weekends and get home at like 2 or 3 in the morning because it's pretty far from home, and by the time they get done racing, and so and normally what happened pre having a baby, and so you're not thinking how things change, knowing things are going to change. So I roll in, it's like 3:15 by the time I get home. You get showered. I wanted to edit the video quick and get that uploaded so it'd go out Saturday morning. Try and find a good upload time because you all know that there's math with that, with what time you release your video. And finally go to bed at like 4 in the morning. And of course then, you've been telling yourself for the last 3 hours while you're driving home to stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. So what's the first thing that happens once you're not having to tell yourself to stay awake? You still want to stay awake. You're like, So finally fall asleep, it's like 4:30. And I forget, now that Glenn's got, with his ear infection he's got, he takes his meds at like 6:45 or 7 or so we get started up. So at 6:45 or 7, Emily's like, hey, I got a couple things for you to do. And I'm just laying there like, oh, this is going to be a bad day. So I knew that there was zero chance of, if I drove, I don't want to do some stuff at the house, but if I drove up to there just for a test and tune, it was going to be a bad time. So I punted on it and hung out at home, which I'm glad I did. It's nice because, like I said, as the summer gets busier, it only gets worse. I mean, there used to be nights, East Moline's running tonight. There used to be nights I get home from East Moline at like midnight, 1 o'clock, go to sleep for a few hours, try and get up to work the next day. Walk into Monday, still smelling like race fuel, still got race dirt in your mouth. Somehow you're like, I was at a race track for 3 days. I loved it. It was fun, but it's also way better stuff to be doing. Also, while I got you in the channel, Flegel, so as you guys all know, Davenport, June 18th, we have the We're Dumber Than We Look Club pulling our 6,500-pound max tractors and the 7,500-pound farm stock for Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. It's called Pulling for You, or Pulling for You Promotion, I think is what it is. They're a charity organization, and they do this big old tractor pull. There will be 2 sleds. East Central Iowa tractor pullers will be there with almost every class they run. I mean, tons of tractors. And then there's 75, 95, 10.5 non-turbo tractors. But if in the 10.5 class, if your motor is smaller, in the 95, I think it's like 290. If it had a factory turbo, it's a really small cubic inch. I don't even know if they have a cubic inch for the 75. So for you guys, obviously like a 301 Alice that came factory with the turbo, because that's actually what my brother-in-law is going to hope to have down there. He's going to try and have his Alice down there, open station, in the 90 or in the 10.5 class. But there's a few of us that pull Eastern Iowa, and a few other guys are going to be taking our tractors that, their rules are very much, it's not, it would be your straight up farm tractor, because I think they'll probably still look at this thing and be like, oh, and they'll be like, let me hook. It's not that impressive. It's going to be way pissed off at 7,500 pounds. But anyone else that's going to be wanting a good time to see the tractor pull, and not only that, see more than just me and my 4 other buddies pull 14 times in one day. The 19, well, here's the deal. They basically, because it's a charity pull, they'll pull exhibition anywhere. I mean, it's a charity pull in the way of there's no money on the outsides. They like a big crowd. So I'm sure if you called and said, here's what I got, can I find a place to, can you put me in an exhibition at the end of a class just to see? I almost guarantee you they'll put you somewhere. I mean, they're doing a unlimited weight manual front wheel assist class. So you're gonna have out like it's gonna be wild. There is some other ones. So yeah, I don't know what the 19 specifically would fit in a class, but I bet if you wanted to, I was worth thinking of like maybe something if you still had something that was more, but not as wild as what we normally do. Or like I said, if you just want to come down and see, because I think a couple other guys are gonna be pulling some of their stuff down there. But yeah, if you contact them and say, "Here's what I got. I'd like to put it in a class," because it is. That's the thing too. Not only is it 7,500 pounds, it's 6 mile an hour. Like, yeah. So that's the whole deal. The one that they're, because like my brother-in-law, he's like, because their turbo farm classes are like 11, 11, 5, 13, and then 14 is their turbo farm class. I mean, in those classes, both classes basically say like, essentially, without saying don't screw with, you're not supposed to screw with your pump. You're not supposed to screw with your pump. Like they're supposed to be farm tractors, which is why this one they might look at it and go, but I'm like, it's an M at 7,500 pounds and supposedly 6 mile an hour. Like, I'm not gonna. Maybe I could be that dumb. I've been known to be that dumb, but yeah, something to think about. If you check out on Facebook, I don't know if I've shared anything from there, but I'll probably share something on the Bibster page about it. Like I said, if not, it's a fun pull. I think the one of the charities they're looking at is I think it's this Gigi's House for. It's something with kids that have Down syndrome. I mean, last year it was River Bend Food Bank. So they support great charities. I think they raised like $60,000 last year for the charities. So if you being that it's at Davenport, it's got to be over by 10 or 10:30. I think is their curfew. I don't know if the tractors have the same curfew as the race cars because yes, tractors versus 20 on the track, it's a much lower volume, and it's 1 for 15 seconds versus 20 for 5 to 7 minutes. Depends. The neighbors can be a little more not as happy with. But yeah, so that'd be a fun poll to go to. I know I've talked to some guys that are going to go down there. Like I said, I got a buddy with a 4520, John Deere 4520. Yeah, 4520. He's going to take that down there and be like one of the big higher classes. I got some other friends that have some other things. So yeah, should be a fun time. But yeah, so on that note, it's been about 35 minutes. Y'all know I try and wrap this thing up not too late. I know we had some internet issues. I apologize for that. Hopefully we get that all figured out. If not, worst case, we might start to doing these in the basement, which is where I have much better internet. It's just then you're looking at guitars and not tractors, and Emily hasn't let me put a tractor in the basement yet, so on that, I can't do that. But yeah, so this week we'll probably have some videos out, maybe, hopefully, something neat. If not, stay tuned because Friday, Saturday, you'll definitely have some videos coming out. I won't be filming all of it, but I know between Flegel and Matt and a few other guys are going to be up there. Everything's going to probably be filmed, I would guess, or a lot of it will be filmed. So, and maybe for smart, we'll try not to all kill our memory cards. And I know. See, that's the thing, just so heavy to haul for you to come all the way down to Freeport. But, because that's what I'm like, that'd be just a fun, I'm trying to talk my dad into taking the 1850, but he's all convinced that there's going to be like a pile of 1066s with jacked up pumps. I'm like, so what?